Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and step into the unknown.
In the quiet villages of South Asia, there's a form of malice that the modern world has forgotten. They call it Kalo Jadu, black magic. It's not just a myth. For one family, it became a living nightmare that nearly cost them their lives. It started with a shadow, then a scent, and finally a discovery that would change their reality forever. This is the full account of the buried curse. The family lived in a large, ancestral home. It was a place of laughter until the air suddenly turned sour. It started with a smell, a thick, suffocating stench of rotting flesh that would manifest out of nowhere. They searched the floorboards, the attic, the pipes, nothing. Then the physical toll began. The father, a man who hadn't been sick in 20 years, woke up one morning unable to move his legs. Doctors ran every test, blood work, MRIs, neurological exams. The result? Perfectly healthy. Yet, he was wasting away. His skin turned a sickly gray, and his eyes grew sunken. It was as if something was drinking his life force while he slept. Nighttime became a battleground. The children began reporting the same dream. A tall, skeletal figure standing at the foot of their beds, stitching something with a long, silver needle. The sounds followed. Every night, at 2:14 a.m., a rhythmic thudding would start on the roof, like someone dragging a heavy sack of stones from one end to the other. When they went outside to check, the roof was empty, but the temperature in the yard would drop 20 degrees. The family realized they weren't dealing with a haunting. This was an attack, a systematic, spiritual siege designed to wipe their bloodline off the face of the earth. Desperate and broken, they contacted a gunnin, a spiritual specialist who deals in the darkest corners of the supernatural. The moment he crossed the threshold of the property, he stopped. He didn't look at the house. He looked at the ground. The earth is screaming, he told them. He began to chant, walking in tight circles around the perimeter. He stopped at the northeast corner of the yard, near a withered lemon tree that had died the day the father fell ill. "Give me a shovel," he commanded. "The heart of your suffering is feeding on the roots of this tree." They dug for 3 hours. The deeper they went, the more the air felt like lead. At 5 feet down, the shovel hit wood. They pulled out a small, crudely made wooden box wrapped in rusted chains and soaked in animal blood. When the gunman broke the seal, the family gasped in horror. Inside were 3 dolls made of clay and human hair. One had a needle driven through its legs, the exact spot where the father was paralyzed. Another was wrapped in a shroud taken from a graveyard. There were shards of bone, rusted nails, and a piece of paper with the family's names written in what appeared to be black bile. This was a Maruan ban, a death ritual intended to ensure no one left that house alive. The gunman looked at the family with pity. "This magic requires a link," he said. "Someone who has touched your hand, someone who has entered your kitchen." The realization was a cold blade to the heart. It wasn't a demon or a ghost. It was a jealous relative. Someone they had helped, someone they loved, had spent months performing rituals in the dead of night to bury their doom in the very soil they walked on. The box was burned in a sanctified fire, and as the smoke rose, the father's strength miraculously began to return. But the scars remained. The family left that village and never looked back. They learned that the most dangerous monsters don't have claws or fangs. They have smiles and family ties. Because a stranger might hate you, but only someone close to you knows exactly where to bury the curse.